Those are good jams for a Sunday afternoon live here on YouTube. We don't go live enough on YouTube. We're on TikTok a lot. I go on Instagram once in a while, but I don't go live on YouTube enough. We're going to fix that. So,
Absolutely.
so we're here today. We're going to talk about a lot of things, you guys. I want to talk about where we've been, where we're going, where we're headed, what's new. So welcome everybody. We are Integrity Medical Courier Training. My name is Ken Arnold. I'm here with my co-host Chris. Christopher is our manager for all things internet related and marketing. And say hi, Chris.
Hey, hello everybody.
No, so we're happy. We love our audience, and we're just glad to have these opportunities to go live and talk to our followers. How many followers do we have on YouTube currently, Chris?
We have 4,200 and let me see, sorry. 4,200. Oh, dang it. I thought it was right there. 213.
Nice. Didn't want to
There
leave
we go.
those 13 people out.
I know.
So,
Yeah, no, I feel bad.
in case you're that 13, welcome. We appreciate every last one of you guys for following us on YouTube. So we've got a lot going on, you guys. We have already been to a couple of conferences this year. We went to the Florida Delivery and Logistics Association in late January. We went to the CLDA conference in February. March is kind of our regroup and regather month, and then April we're headed back to Texas for the ECA conference, and then we've got the COLA conference in May, and it looks like we'll be going to the ADLM conference in July. So busy, 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 right into the summer, which is a great problem to have. Are you guys enjoying our podcast? We've been doing a lot of podcasts. It's an opportunity for us to interview people in the industry, get you guys the latest important information, interview some people that have owned courier businesses, and share a little bit in their joys and struggles and successes. And we'll have many more of those coming up this year. But I hope you enjoy those, and definitely drop us a line or a comment in the comments here on YouTube. Let us know what you like about our podcast. Let us know what you'd like to see. If there's any particular topic you'd like us to put up there, let us know, and we'll get on that for sure. I have been I discovered something on Sirius Radio, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. It's called Road Dog Trucking. Chris, I don't know if you're able to pull up the logo for Road Dog
Oh,
Trucking or
yeah.
not, but Road Dog Trucking is on Sirius XM, and what it is a 24-hour channel that has all things related to trucking, of course, Road Dog Trucking. But the reason I like it is because if you're a medical courier, you're in logistics. Road Dog Trucking, there it is, and they've got I like that logo. But so when I'm driving to the store or driving up to the gym, it's 45 minutes. I'll toss on Road Dog Trucking and see what's on there. And the reason it's so important is that they'll go over legislation that's coming up. For example, now a medical courier could say, "Why does Road Dog, trucking? How does that affect me?" Well, glad you asked. In many states, people have been looking for opportunities to tax medical couriers. One of the proposals that's come up in many states is to put a device in your car so that they can track how many miles you drive and tax you further on that. That is definitely something you all want to be involved in, and let your representatives know that absolutely you are not in favor of that. But I'll tell you what, many states are trying to push stuff like that through. That would affect you, but they'll have congressmen on Road Dog Trucking on one of their programs, and then they'll talk about it and they'll take calls on it. And so it definitely affects you. One of the other things I loved about Road Dog Trucking is that the Manifest conference that was a few weeks ago. Manifest is one of the biggest shipping conferences in the industry, bar none. And a lot of people went to Manifest, and what they did was they went around to the different booths and interviewed, um, you know, software providers and security providers and trucking companies, things like that. And so that was really, really cool. So if you're a medical courier, we strongly suggest you follow us here on YouTube, that you watch our podcasts, listen to them while you're driving. You can learn a lot about the industry. But if you've watched all our podcasts and you want something, else logistics related to listen to fill your time when you're driving, Road Dog Trucking is a great resource.
Hmm.
Very cool. Very interesting. So I also want to talk a little bit. We stumbled. So we post a lot of content on TikTok. We share a lot of that stuff here on YouTube. Chris, did you post the video of the latest one of the specimen, the gal walking to the facility with the last specimen and everything that you posted on YouTube?
Yes, yeah. I believe that one was posted to Shorts.
Okay, excellent. So it's on shorts. So the idea there was that this gal, she's selling a course on how to be a medical courier. She's been in the industry for 5 years. She just recently, last week, posted a video of herself walking into a facility with a specimen bag in her hands. And she walks all the way down this long hallway, gets to the window to drop it off, and then she hands it over. The problem is you can clearly see the paperwork, and we were able to freeze frame on that, and you can literally see the patient's name and her social security number. You have to be careful what you're posting on social media. I know
Yeah,
everybody's excited about, hey, look at me, I'm a medical courier, let me show you how it's done. And this person is literally selling courses on how to be a medical courier, and yet she's clearly oblivious that, number one, she's violating OSHA because she's not using the proper cooler. She's walking into the building with a specimen bag swinging in her hands, and
yeah,
then she puts a picture of it up on the internet. Anyone with a little bit of technical know-how can literally lift that information off of there. That is absolutely, by the way, a name and a social security number is all someone needs to do to open up a credit card and ruin your credit by running
yeah,
up a limit. And I mean, it's really, really serious. So we have to be careful, guys and gals, on what we're posting on the internet and how we're posting it. So, um, you know, I see a lot of shenanigans, and I try not to talk about it a lot on the internet. I try not to bash people about content that they post unless I think it puts people in danger.
mm,
That being said,
definitely.
there's a guy that posted a video not too long ago that was telling people the top five things they need to be a medical courier. And then he said, dry ice is from the olden days. All you need are cool packs. Well, that's a big problem. And we posted a video on that as well. Because if you don't keep a frozen specimen frozen and they have to try and redraw the patient, that literally could harm the patient if they have to go back and redraw. So, as always, be careful who you follow on social media. Be careful what you take as gospel when it comes to how to be a medical courier, because you could get yourself in a whole lot of trouble with some of the advice these people are tossing out. That same person recently said you should, if you're transporting blood or other bodily fluids, you should have a portable urinal with you in your car.
Yeah.
Um, Come on. I mean, most
Hmm.
medical facilities have public restrooms, and relieving yourself in your car when lab specimens are present, probably not a great idea. So again, be careful.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what medical couriers do, because some of you might have signed on to this. By the way, do we have anybody right now in the comments section, Chris?
No comments yet, but we do have two viewers right now.
Excellent. So you might be wondering, what does a medical courier do? Well, we train a lot on picking up and delivering lab specimens. I always go when I go live, I tell people there's a right way to be a medical courier, there's a wrong way to be a medical courier. When you're picking up and delivering lab specimens, maybe it's a stat run or a routine pickup, you must use the proper cooler. OSHA states the cooler must be leak proof, puncture resistant, and biohazard marked. And there's one over my shoulder right there, a specimen cooler. We also show them when I go live, the different types of coolers that you need to use. But so the specimen's got to be contained. And then specimen integrity. There's three different temperatures that you'll need to maintain when you're a medical courier. They're either going to be at room temp, so ambient, refrigerated, so cool, or frozen. And the only way to keep specimens frozen is using dry ice. So you might need three separate coolers in your car. If you're, some people have clients where it's just room temperature, perfect. I mean, But keep in mind, room temperature in Anchorage, Alaska in the winter versus room temperature in Miami, Florida in the summer means two different things. So if you need to maintain a reasonable temperature in your vehicle at all times, I've actually, encountered people that like to put their coolers in the trunk of their car in the middle of Miami in the summer, and that's going to be a problem. Because even with cool packs in the cooler, some of those specimens are going to end up being affected. So, got to be aware of that. So, lab specimens. If you service the blood banks, you'd have those large white containers filled with whole blood. Medical equipment. Some people want to move medical equipment. Now, if you've got a box truck, I know Tony at Stick With Us teaches people about Sprinter vans and box trucks. There's a lot of things you can move with a Sprinter van or a box truck. You can move whole blood for American Red Cross. You can move medical equipment. I've known people that have had to move open-sided MRI machines. Make sure you secure that machinery in your vehicle. You might need a lift gate in your vehicle to properly load that and then strap it down. You might. I've got a client in Florida who has a warehouse where they store dialysis chemicals in their warehouse, and then they get paid to store it, and then when the client calls and says, we need that delivered, they get paid to pull it off the shelf. They get paid to load it into the van, and the driver gets paid to deliver it. So, medical supplies, pharmaceuticals. So you could be delivering medications. You could deliver from a large warehouse pharmacy to small local pharmacies. That's business to business. I've actually done, years ago, I leased a 3/4 ton Ford van, and we had that thing filled to the top. We'd meet someone for a sort at 5:30 in the morning at a hospital parking lot, and he would lower that thing on a pallet. We'd have to unpack it. I would fill my van with the items that were in there, and then I would go to pharmacies all over the city and deliver it. So business to business. What about business to customer? Okay, so I've done deliveries for companies like Amerita or Pharmerica. Pharmerica is primarily business to business, but Amerita is business or pharmacy to customer. That's home healthcare deliveries, where you're literally going across the threshold and unpacking boxes and sometimes putting them in their fridge and sometimes going over the paperwork with them, things like that. That's business to customer. I've had many clients that have had hospitals, okay, and hospitals as clients where the couriers would go in, they load up their vehicle with X-rays and lab results and paperwork and clean smocks and clean instruments and medications and supplies, and they would go to clinics all over the city, and then they would swap those fresh supplies out for expired ones, bring them back to the hospital along with lab specimens. And so, guys, being a medical courier is recession resistant. In other words, if the economy takes a dip, people still need healthcare services. So you can be a medical courier servicing hospitals and labs. Drop a yes in the chat if you've ever heard of medical couriers before today. I want to know what your familiarity is with the medical couriers, or drop a yes in the chat if you've ever done one of these deliveries to a pharmacy, from a pharmacy to a patient's home. So the industry is growing. Yeah, baby boomers. I'm one of them. Aging population, absolutely. Home healthcare. One of the things we learned from the COVID lockdowns is that you can get healthcare in your home. I actually invested in a company years ago that started out as a pharmaceutical supply company, and now they provide concierge healthcare to high net worth individuals. So people love to get healthcare services in their home, and it can be intravenous, it can be therapeutic, it can be dental work, it can be chiropractic or massage, but increased home healthcare. A lot of medical facilities outsource their logistics. Hospitals, some will use in-house workers, some will use outsourced workers, but you know what? There's always great opportunities to get into this field. Chris, how many people do we have in the, watching us now?
5.
Five. We're at five. Excellent. Is anybody making
Yeah.
comments?
No, not right now.
All right, just make sure they're still engaged. I want to make sure people are there. A lot
Yep.
of people, go into DoorDash and Uber Eats and some of these other apps, and then they want to get into the medical industry because it can be more stable work, it can be higher paying. Just make sure that if you come from DoorDash or Uber Eats into the medical courier business, there's a real big difference there, you guys. You got to understand that, being a DoorDasher is one thing, but starting your own business is entirely different. People call us all day long about getting started as a medical courier, and they don't really understand that they're starting a business. You are absolutely, when you are becoming a medical courier, you're starting up your own business, which means you'll be responsible for your own taxes. You have to decide how you're going to deal with your drivers. Are you going to use employee drivers, or are you going to use independent contractors? What's your business model going to look like? So you have to decide that as well. And that's a big deal, by the way. If you decide, I'm going to try to turn the brightness down on my screen here. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of a
Your
glare.
your
Um,
mic distorts every once in a while too. I'm not sure if it's is the mic part in your shirt.
no, actually, the mic is in front of me. See it in the screen,
Oh,
in
it's
the
that
corner
one.
of the screen
Oh,
there.
I
It's
thought you
that
were
one.
using the earbud mic. It's using that one.
No, let me just double check and make sure that it didn't default to the mic in my. Hold on, let me check it.
Yeah,
You know what? I don't know if I can
should be
do that on
called
the fly.
Scarlet, right? It would be next to the microphone symbol on the bottom.
Uh, I
There's
have
a
to
little
get.
like pop up window.
Okay, let me check it out. Let me check it out. No, it's focused right.
Okay,
So I don't know if I need to turn it
interesting.
down a little bit. My levels are nice and low, Chris.
Yeah, and maybe I'll just turn my speakers down where it might be picking that up.
Okay, fair
That
enough.
shouldn't
Yep, that
happen.
could be
All
it
right.
too. Yeah, I'm not peaking at all on my VU meter. So, and I'm watching the Scarlet as well, and it's not. It's in the green, so I should be all right.
Okay.
All right. It's a little in-house issues there. So, but anyways, guys and gals, medical courier, really, it can be very lucrative for people that want to get into the industry, but understand that you got to start a business. What does that mean? You got to decide if you're going to be an LLC or a sole proprietor. There are tax and liability ramifications in how you start your business, how you create your business model. Are you going to use employees or independent contractors as you grow your business? That matters, because if you're going to use employees, you got to provide benefits to them. You got to take out their taxes. You've got, there's a lot that goes on with employees versus the independent contractor model. So how am I going to run my business? I've owned and sold two medical courier companies in my lifetime, and I've managed other companies for other people. And it's an issue. You got to decide. I mean, there's trade-offs, right? With an employee courier, you can demand that they wear the uniform and they show up at a scheduled time. When it comes to independent contractors, you have to finesse those issues and make sure you partner with companies like Open Force. Open Force has been making our services available to their people, and Open Force is a great third-party administrative company that can kind of help you navigate those issues of, am I being compliant? Am I doing this the right way? And so, and there are some states that are uh, a lot more dangerous, I would say, for you to do business than others. California is really, really brutal on the issue of independent contractor relationships. They passed legislation about a year and a half ago, AB5, which makes it almost impossible to use independent contractors. And if you make a misstep, you're open to misclassifications and lawsuits that could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you got to be careful.
Yep.
So there's pros and cons of each business model. You got to decide what works best for you. But when you come into the medical courier industry, you're starting a medical courier business. So there's a lot that goes into that, and there's a lot of things that you need to consider. Again, insurance. There are some social media influencers out there that are telling people, "Hey, you don't need insurance to be a medical courier. You don't need commercial insurance. Just hop in your car and go ahead and do what you want." Well, there are dangers to that. And the dangers are, and let me just give you one scenario. Let's say you decided to go out and you're doing work for hire, and you have your personal insurance policy, and you get into a serious accident that injures someone, or God forbid, worse. What's going to happen is the family, they're going to file a claim against the insurance company, and they're going to say, yeah, he was clearly doing deliveries. the insurance company is going to look at your insurance policy. It's going to say, and they're going to see you claim that you were driving this car to and from church or to the gym or just to pick up groceries, and here you are driving for a living, getting paid to drive as a medical courier. The insurance company's going to do a couple of things. Number one, they're going to deny that claim, and then number two, they're going to cut you from their insurance policy. They're going to drop your insurance. So in that scenario, what are some of the possibilities? Remember, I'm a risk manager. This is what I talk about. But they can get a judgment against you and garnish your wages. They can put a lien on your property and your assets, or they can force you into bankruptcy. And none of those are good. So when you hear someone tell you it's okay to be a medical courier and you don't need commercial insurance, please be careful. That's bad advice. We recommend Risk Strategies. Risk Strategies is an insurance company that's been affiliated with us for a while, and they are a sponsor of the Medical Courier Connection podcast. Are they not, Chris?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yep.
sure are.
Yep. So, and we're going to have Brian
Jungerberg.
Sorry, I always botch people's names. We're going to have him on our podcast again and talk about insurance issues, because there's always something new to get into in that industry, and insurance is extremely important. Remember, when you if you bring that DoorDash mentality into the courier world, some people like to stack the apps. So there's apps out there like MedZoomers, like Drop-Off. Drop-Off is a client of Integrity Medical. They're an app-based medical courier service provider. But, when you sign on to an app, it's like the analogy that I get, and again, I'm an old dude, but it's like little birdies in the nest with their mouth open, waiting for the mother bird to come and feed them. When it's busy and there's lots of worms, great, you're full. But when it's not busy, you're going to starve. So if you're relying on other apps to feed you, you're at their mercy. So, you can do that. Great. I don't care if that's what you want to do. Fine. But if you want to start a medical courier service and you want to go after your own accounts, that's one of the ways that we can help you. At Integrity Medical, we'll provide you with the manual that you need. It's called an exposure control plan. We'll provide you with the live training to get your company certified, and we will help you. So I've got a 6-page sales and marketing sheet that I hand out, and we'll actually help you identify medical clients in your area that you should call on. That's one of the packages on our website, integritydelivers.com, and it's only $259 for a total of 2 people in the class. So make sure you go to integritydelivers.com and then hover over Get Trained, training for my company, and then it'll take you into the area where you can look at it and pick the one that fits you best. But get the proper training. I mean, listen, we talked earlier about somebody that's selling their medical courier course, but they're walking around with specimen bags in their hands. If you got training from Integrity, you would know that you can't do that, that's not appropriate behavior. Understand the compliances. There's our website, integritydelivers.com. Very proud of our website. Hover over Get Trained, and then training just for me. Take us in there, Chris. If you're an independent contractor looking for training and certification, we've got a library of multiple courses, you guys. And the first course you'll come to is called Specimen Handling and Transportation for First-Time Students. That literally is a comprehensive course that'll show you how to handle and transport lab specimens, what kind of coolers to use, what kind of marking should be on the coolers, how to maintain the right temperature, what to do in case of a spill, and how to use a spill kit. It is function specific, meaning that will give you courier-specific best practices so you can stay compliant. If you want to join the Medical Courier Connection, we hope you do. That's the ICC membership for first-time students. You get a 1-year membership to the MCC, as well as your OSHA and HIPAA certification. We have the nation's only chemotherapy transport training program. No one else has it. It's on our website. If you're going to service the oncology industry, meaning cancer care, a lot of times they're going to want you to deliver these types of medications. It's called chemotherapy. Chemotherapy medication is definitely dangerous. And it can injure you over long-term exposure. So you got to be aware of that. So make sure you get the proper training on how to handle and transport chemotherapy meds. Okay. So, all right, Chris, do me a favor. I want you to take over for a second.
Okay.
Tell people about the course. I'm going to reset my vocals.
Sweet. All
So
right.
put me on hold, if you will.
Yeah. All right. So next up, did you talk about dental yet? I don't think you did. Um, our chief of staff, Faith, made this dental transportation course. She has an OSHA background and an extensive dental background. So you can master the key aspects of servicing the dental industry as a medical specialty courier. It covers the handling of various lab product instruments, sharps, laundry, and waste management while understanding crucial regulations. And when it comes to dental, Faith is just a genius. Like, we can't praise her enough. She's pulled a couple of my teeth, actually, four of my teeth. So she knows what she's talking about. Linda did the Starting Your Own Courier Business and Medical Courier Financial Masterclass. These two classes are insane. I've done both of them. Um, and it's just a wealth of information. First, about starting your courier business. It's a basic step-by-step list of resources. The financial masterclass is way more on finances. That one's a 3 hour and 15 minute class.
Oh yeah, that is a deep dive. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
All right. And is it any better?
Yeah. So far, I guess
Okay.
we'll just keep talking. I'll let you know if it scratches again.
Okay, sorry about that. That's really distracting.
Yeah.
Listen, you
That's all
guys,
right.
if you're gonna be a medical courier, you need to know where your money's coming from, and you need to know when it's coming, and you need to
Yeah.
know where it's going. You can't, some people, again, they just want to come into this industry from a like a DoorDasher perspective. Oh, and with DoorDash, you work for a couple of weeks and then you can cash out every night. Some medical clients are not like that. They'll actually set payment terms where you work for 2 weeks for nothing and then you submit an invoice and then you get paid 20, 30, 45 days later. Be
Mhm.
aware, you guys. Be aware of payment terms. That can really be be a big impact on you. And then make sure that what goes into bidding on work. Listen, everybody clamors for a contract. Give me a contract. Give me a contract. I want a contract. Few people know what this really means and how it could affect you. So again, make sure that you take that financial master class. Know how to do a bid. Know what goes into pricing and all the hidden costs that you might not actually be aware of. It's a great course.
Mhm.
Next course that you
Absolutely.
created, Chris. Talk about that for a
Yeah, the
minute.
essential marketing tips for new businesses. So we cover a lot, everything from Canva to setting up your email to running online ads. It's very social media focused. I don't get too much into the back end of like we go into marketing campaigns and stuff like that, but very much on promoting yourself on social media and promoting yourself to
Mm.
companies.
Really important. Linda and I just
Yeah.
hosted a medical courier, a foundations class for the Medical Courier Connection. It was a members only class. And we
Yep.
talked about your social media presence. If you're going to be a business, you need to separate your personal social media channels from your business social media channels. Because it's well known in the business world that if you apply for a job, that the recruiter is going to go look at your social media presence. And if you got questionable videos on there, and you're screaming about conspiracy theories or religion or your favorite sports team, and it's controversial, they may actually not hire you because of that. So you have to be aware of your social media content and whether or not that could cost you work. So, you talked about voicemails and emails and all of that. That's really, really important when you're starting a medical courier company. You need a business voicemail. I We had a guy that purchased a plan from us, and he was having problems with registration, and we tried to call him back, and every time he chided us or chewed us out for emailing, because we email a lot. He chided us for emailing him, but then every time we tried to call him, he would never answer his phone, and if he did, the voicemail was very unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have it both ways. You've got to have a professional business email and you need a professional voicemail. Otherwise, you're just some other person that's trying to be a medical courier.
Yeah.
Set yourself apart. Set yourself
Absolutely.
apart. So those things are really important. These are some of the mistakes that medical couriers make. They don't get proper training, and then they go out and they're waving lab specimens on their social media channel, and they're proving that they're violating regulations, and they don't even know it. And then they're selling courses to other people who are going to go and repeat their behavior. So approaching companies the wrong way. So again, when you decide to get out there as a medical courier, you know how you present yourself is everything. Wearing your branding, having a logo, having a hat, wear your brand everywhere. It's one of the things I love about Larry Zogby. Larry Zogby at RDS Delivery wears his brand literally everywhere, and he's proud of his brand, and they're very visible in the New York market. You'll see them right away when you're driving around New York City. So um, understand, again, this is different than just the app industry. You can stack the apps if you want, nothing wrong with that, but it's not a great long-term solution. If you want to be a successful medical courier company, create your business for success. Marketing, branding, have a website. If you can't create a website or you can't afford it, maybe you've got a nephew that has the aptitude to build a website. WordPress websites are better than nothing at all, and over time you can tweak them and you can make them better as time goes by. But create a website, make sure you've got some branding, a business card and or a flyer when you go to meet with the client. Have something to drop off with them, so they'll actually remember you. That's really, really important. We go over these issues in our training courses. Most of our classes are live. However, we do have where you started to show the library. We have a robust library
Yeah.
of automated courses. The specimen handling and transport, we probably train between 150 and 200 people a day on the automated webinar. We do live webinars that are scheduled throughout the week using Zoom. We love that. Yep, we do it for individual independent contractors. It's only $49.95. New startup companies, $259. By the way, for that $259 price, you get a manual with your company name on it, uploaded to FedEx Office, print and ship. You need an exposure control plan, something you can bring into a meeting with your medical client that shows them that you take your job seriously. You get two people in that class, and you're going to get your company and the individual certified in courier specific OSHA and HIPAA regulations. OSHA 29 CFR 1910-1030, DOT 49 CFR 171 through 180, as well as HIPAA and high tech. You guys, if you want company specific or actually qualified trainers, integrity medical courier training, we come from a clinical lab background. We're uniquely qualified to provide this training for that very reason. And then the $399 option you showed there is for established companies that already have a dispatcher in place. You get a dispatch manual, an owner admin manual, and up to 4 people in a live webinar. We use Zoom. I've got a PowerPoint presentation that shows all sorts of examples of blood samples and couriers doing their jobs, and what it looks like to go into the clinic and pick up specimens, what it looks like to store them in your car, what it looks like when you hand them off at the laboratory. This is very much function specific training so that you know what you're in for when you decide to be a medical courier. Really important. Then we're going to talk about sales. Now, in the $259 and $399 package, we're going to help you with marketing and sales. We're going to teach you some things that'll help you clean up your game a little bit, and it's branding and it's marketing and it's things like that. But also, we're going to help you identify medical clients in your area that you should call on. And so once you've got that certification in place, and once you've touched up your marketing and sales a little bit, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. So don't go out there, poorly trained. Don't go out there in hold up, ripped up jeans and a sports T-shirt. We saw a guy when we first started posting on TikTok. We saw a guy in a Playboy bunny,
Yep.
tank top or whatever they call it.
Ludlow.
And yeah, Ludlow. That's funny. I wonder what he's doing these
Shout out
days.
Ludlow wherever he is. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the content, man. He didn't like us calling him out, but listen, that's the way it is, man. You post yourself on social media, you're kind of
Yeah.
fair game.
We offered him free training. He was just being salty.
He
We're
never
getting
took it.
corrected.
He
Yeah,
never
never
took
took
it.
it.
That's the thing. We're not going to just bash somebody for the sake of bashing. We will
No.
offer them a free course so they can learn why what they're doing was wrong. And you know what? Sometimes pride kicks in and they don't want to hear it, and that's all right. I mean, I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm not willy-nilly firing at everybody. I hold my fire for the longest time, Chris, and you know this about me. I
Hmm.
hold my fire for a long time, but when there comes a point when people are posting crazy stuff that I just got to go out there and tell people,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
no.
we've been so busy with podcast content and traveling content. We haven't that recent video was our first one in a long time of actually taking a video someone had made and offering corrective criticism,
I mean, that's
which
what
is
it is, right?
that's what we started with. Yeah,
Corrective
it's
criticism. I like it.
yeah.
So, again, we got online
Constructive.
options, constructive
Yeah,
criticism.
maybe
Yeah.
that's a better word for it. Yeah.
When I go live and I've got lots of people in the room, and when we train and stuff, I'll ask them towards the end, what did you think of the course? Not because I'm looking for strokes and praise, because I
Yeah.
really want them to tell me what they thought of the course. Because, there's a lot of people out there that'll say medical courier training is a scam. You don't have to pay for that. You can get it live, whatever, or you can get it for free, whatever. I literally want them to tell me and give me reasons why you liked or didn't like it. And by the way, if you didn't like it, email me, tell me what you didn't like about it, and we'll see what we can do to fix it. I mean, even at my advanced age, I'm open to criticism because I think constructive criticism can really help us improve our product.
Dimensions International said, I see RDS vehicles all the time in New York. Thank you
That's
for this
it.
webinar, Ken. I'm HIPAA and Bloodborne certified through Integrity.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. I've got some of Larry's materials. Unfortunately, I'm tethered to my desk and I can't go get them.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, his branding is spot on. It is absolutely spot on, and that's the thing about Larry. Larry understands the value of visibility. So from his list, if a courier showed up in their jeans and their own hoodie, he would either well, he's got a closet full of hoodies, so he'll
Yeah.
make them put this on.
Mhm.
Everywhere those drivers go, they're wearing the colors, they're wearing the brand, they're wearing the hoodies, and that's the way you want to do it. I mean, that's constant advertising, that's constant visibility, and it's absolutely everything. If you're a small company in your town and you're trying to get started, you can create the illusion that you're a much bigger company than you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. Years ago, we've built our own websites until recently when Design Vibe took it over and revamped it about a year and a half ago. But Linda had built all of our websites, and there's one version of our website. When you went to our homepage, there was a large glass building. It looked like the IDS Center in Minneapolis, big, just a high, a skyscraper with glass windows. And I remember a guy called me one day and he goes, "Wow, I'm on your website. Is that your office?" And I kind of chuckled a little bit, and I said no, but the assumption was that, hey, Integrity Medical, they're really, really big. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a small courier company, you can create the illusion, wear your brand everywhere you go. If you want to wrap your vehicle, wrapping the vehicle costs around $6,000, but per vehicle. But you know what? You
Mhm.
can find discount, ways of doing it. Represent your brand proudly everywhere you go. The Courier chick, one of our affiliates, she's always talking about the fact that she has business cards and flyers with her, even when she goes shopping or to stores or whatever, because a lot of times people will see her shirt that she wears and they'll go, "Are you a courier?" And immediately she can start that conversation, hand over the flyer and or business card, and let them know what they're all about. So, people hate the term salesman or woman, salesperson,
Mhm.
but when you're when you're when you create a courier company, you're representing your brand, you're telling your story. All sales and marketing is telling your story. How well you tell the story, that's up to you,
Mhm.
right? So, all
Yeah.
right, I'm going to pivot a little bit. We are how many people are still hanging out there in the chat?
10.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Any questions from the people in the chat?
And we
Any
are on like a 10
questions?
second delay, so
Oh,
let's
are we?
see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, let me
I
know if they
think.
got any questions. Meanwhile, I want
Yeah.
to talk about an upcoming webinar. Now, we do these live medical courier group training webinars. We don't do them very often. The next one coming up is not until April 11th. This means you've got almost a month to register. Live Medical Courier Group Training Webinar. This is a discounted webinar. It's an opportunity for you to save $9.95 off of what's normally a $49.95 class. We don't have the price on that thumbnail. We'll have to fix that when we get a chance. But the course is normally $49.95. If you use the coupon code April Showers, you're going to save $9.95. So for $40, you're going to be able to attend a live 2.5, nearly 3-hour webinar. And again, in this webinar, we're going to go over OSHA regulations. We're going to go over definitions, medical definitions that lab techs use. We're going to go over an awareness of hepatitis, the hepatitis ABCs. We're going to go over courier-specific HIPAA compliance training. It's directed at the job of a medical courier. These are not some awareness program where you have to wonder how the regulations affect you as a medical courier. Then we're going to go over specimen handling and transport. When you're picking up at the clinic, when you're in your vehicle, when you're dropping off at the lab, there are specific procedures that you need to follow when doing this work. And so we're going to help you understand that. We're going to go over specimen integrity. We're going to go over exposure control, so you know what diseases are out there, what's a real risk and what's not. And then we're going to go over how to use a spill kit. That is a 2.5 to 3 hour live webinar. At the end of the webinar, you're going to get a certificate showing compliance with OSHA 29 CFR 1910, 1030, DOT 49 CFR 171 through 180, as well as HIPAA high tech. Guys, again, this training is function specific. Chris just fixed it. I love that. Editing on the go. So again, it is April 11th. What day of the week is that? Is that a Monday? I'm not even sure. April 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Guys, just look it up on your calendar.
That's a Saturday.
That's a Saturday class. Nice. So a Saturday class, April 11th, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Again, this class for independent contractors is normally $49.95. You can sign up, use the coupon code April Showers, knock $9.95 off the cost. What can you buy for $9.95? Maybe you can go out and buy that new double-decker Big Mac they're selling or whatever. That's probably around $10, right? Chris is like, not even. But, you could buy 2 gallons of gas with that $9.95 saving. Come on. So again, this is your once a month opportunity. And by the way, the last time we did one, I want to say it was in early February. So it'll be almost 2 months since we've done a live medical courier group training class. And we're going to be promoting this more on all of our social media streams. We do have a Linktree account, I believe, attached to this live stream. You can register today. Sign up, use the coupon code April Showers, and then get it in your calendar and show up. That's Saturday, April 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Guys, this is a great opportunity to get your OSHA and HIPAA certificate, and then you can approach medical couriers. You can use that certificate to prove to them that you've been through the proper training, that you've got your certification, and the fact that they can trust you to service their medical clients. So really important there.
Linktree is in the description.
Linktree is in the description. Good. Don't miss it, you guys. This is really important. And, some of the benefits, live step-by-step guidance. You can ask me questions on the go. I'm not just going to be talking at you or talking through you. If you have questions, you can ask them and get them answered. That'll be awesome. So again, that's going to be Saturday, April 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And so, guys, people are always asking, have you got coupon codes? Have you got discounts? Well, this really once every other month, once a quarter, whatever, live medical courier group training class. It's coming up. It's kind of like Halley's Comet. You only see it once in a while. Don't miss it. Don't sleep on this. This is your opportunity to get the training and certification that you need so you can offer your services to another courier company in town or go directly to a medical client and get some work. Again, Saturday, April 11th, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Use the coupon code April Showers. Register right now and save $9.95. It's only $40. That's a great, by the way, for comparison, Our automated specimen handling and transport course on our website is $38.95. So after you use the coupon code, you're paying an extra $5 to attend a live video. By the way, we put some comedy videos in there and we have a little fun with it, but you get to ask questions of me while we're doing the training. So for an extra $5, you get to attend this live class with several other people. If you like that group training option, there you go. So please don't miss it. Sign up. Now, again, Chris, are there any questions?
No questions right now.
How many people we got in the chat?
We got 8 in the chat.
8. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna try and go live more on Sundays. 8's not a bad number. I'll tell you what. A lot of times on TikTok, I'm lucky to get 5 or 6, and I have I have 16,000 followers. Where are they all?
Mhm.
Sometimes I think TikTok, will suppress our reach for whatever reason, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm such a positive influence on the medical courier community. Yeah, right. Chris is laughing because he knows a lot of times I go on there to gripe. It's like, stop doing that. Whatever you're doing, stop it. But anyways, so guys, if you have any questions, we're here for a few more minutes. I mean, I love questions on lives, especially, YouTube. We haven't been live on YouTube in a long time. By the way, Chris, are we able to record this or does it just go away?
Yeah, it'll stay. I'll make a playlist for this, especially for our live streams.
Cool. Yeah, do that. That is very cool. I like that feature because we do have some people that are more and more. Well, we have subscribers, right?
Yep.
More and more people are checking out our podcasts and following us on YouTube, and we want to continue to grow that.
Yeah,
and so
we're looking to add memberships too now. And
talk about that
videos. So
talk about that.
So we were talking about the foundations class earlier. Plus, we have recorded your speech from the CBA. Your
nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Where's that?
I have it recorded on the phone, and then I'm gonna upload it to our YouTube, and we can add it as a member only video.
Oh,
so if they pay the monthly fee, then they can watch any of those videos.
Let me tell you about this. So a few weeks ago, we were in Houston, Texas. Dayron Myers asked us to join them at their event, and I got the opportunity to speak. I had 45 minutes. I'm a long-winded guy. Have you noticed that about me? Dude, when I got done, it was like I ran a marathon. I mean, I was huffing and puffing because, they had a clock down on the ground, a timer on the floor, and it was really unnerving, but you got to stay on time. It's just one of those things where if I was to go 10 minutes over, I'm taking from other people's time, and I'm not going to do that. So I had to shave a couple of the videos and just a little bit of the content out, but we talked about marketing and how important it is for marketing and branding. And we talked about the amount of money that's being spent in the courier industry. There's a lot of great content in that video. So yeah, you guys, subscribe or become a member here on YouTube, and we'll have that video posted. You can watch the entire thing. It's about 45 minutes long.
Yep. And I thought I have a video up from the
You want to play a snippet of it?
Quick snippet. Yeah, it's like a 5-second video.
Do it. You didn't play my walk-up, did you? By the way, Chris.
Yeah, I have your walk-up recorded.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jake wants to see the walk-up. He demanded he wants to see the walk-up.
Well, he has to become a member on YouTube then.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'll send him a snapshot, but yeah. So
like
we were in the room. There were, as far as I knew, there was going to be between 75 and 100, and it turned out there had to be probably 225, 250. How many people would you say were in that room?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were close to 300. Well, yeah, 225, 250.
I mean, they were lined up. All the tables were full, and then they had chairs all along the walls. The whole place, it was packed. That place was packed. And so, you know what? it was a great event. Now you mentioned future events, and I'll tell you one of the things that was really near and dear to my heart. Back in 2013, we did our very first convention. It was called the Medical Transportation Summit,
Mm-hmm.
and in that event, we brought in speakers from various medical specialties, labs, and pharmacies and hospitals, and we advertised to the courier community, and representatives from courier services flew in, and it was a great event. We did another in 2014 and 2015. It was called the Medical Transportation Summit. There's some rumblings that we may do something like that again in 2027. We'll see what happens, but our dynamic has changed in that we have thousands of followers, and I know that there's a lot of them that would do anything to get to a meeting like that. So we'll see what we can do. I think there's great value in it. There aren't a lot of medical courier specific conferences out there. There's only a handful of them. Medical Transportation Summit was a great event. Now, when you subscribe behind the firewall, whatever you call it, you can actually view some of the speakers from those events.
We have
as
them
well.
uploaded to the YouTube right now, unlisted. But we've been talking about making those member only as well, so you can watch all the old summit footage that we have.
And I mean, it's relevant. We had a speaker, infectious category A, Patricia Payne is on there. We had a speaker from Cardinal Healthcare, a speaker from ARUP Laboratories. We had a speaker from American Red Cross. Leo DeBandy at the time was the nation's manager for logistics for American Red Cross. A lot of great concepts. We're learning more and more about the industry. And so, let's put that information on there. So that would be great. So any questions from the peanut gallery in the chat room? Are they still hanging in there?
Yeah, last comment was at 2:08.
Okay. You guys are too quiet. I need you guys to lively it up a little bit. But listen, we can go ahead and bring it home. Again, we have a lot to look forward to coming up. So again, don't forget the dates: April 11th, Saturday, April 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're doing our next medical courier group training class. You can only get there by signing up. The Linktree account is in where, Chris?
Sorry. It's in the description.
It's in the description. So click on that and register. Use the coupon code April Showers. You're going to save $9.95. So for $40, you're going to be in a live webinar with several other people. We're going to start promoting the bat snot out of this, and we'll take 30 days to promote it. But here we go. Now, we're also ramping up in late April, the 27th and 28th, I believe it is. We're going to be back in Dallas, Texas, in Arlington, to be specific, at the ECA conference. We're going to set up a booth there. And so, golly, I'll tell you what, I'm a little disappointed we couldn't bring Biohazard Man back for another showing. Biohazard Man at the CLDA, we have a mascot at Integrity Medical Courier Training. He's Biohazard Man, and he's got a cape, and he's got all these features. But he was wildly popular, and hopefully we can bring him back sometime in the future. Maybe in July at the ADLM. We'll see.
That'd be a good place for him.
Wouldn't it? That'd be a great place for it, for sure. All right. So we've got that coming up. We got the COLA conference coming up. And so lots of new different conventions coming up. And then the second half of the year, we're traveling and training and doing driver ride-alongs. So 2026 is going to be a great year. And let's get more followers here on YouTube. Let's put this over the top. And we'll try and do more and more live streams on the Sundays coming up in the near future. So,
and we got in 2 weeks, we as well as the Brian Jungenberg podcast, we're having Carly Fleischer on, author of The 13th Floor. So we'll be reading that book this week and talking about that. Yep.
Yeah, you guys, if you don't know what The 13th Floor is, if you remember the shooting incident at the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas that took several lives a few years back, that was a tragic situation. Carly Fleischer she was with Open Force, one of our affiliates, and she was there. She was there, and she tells her story. And so, where can you find that book, Chris, by the way?
Amazon. That's where I got it. You can. I think she said it before. I think it's also on Audible.
Okay.
Kindle. And, in local stores too. I believe she said Target, Walmart.
Yeah, you
It's
guys
all
look
over.
up that book, get your own copy. And, it talks a lot about trauma and dealing with trauma and understanding that you might have people in your life that are going through trauma that you don't even know. And she helps you recognize certain signs when somebody is going through trauma and maybe, reach out and get them help. I mean, the world is a stressful place right now, and everyone needs to be more sensitive to that and kind of watch out for each other. So we, make sure your friends and family and loved ones are
Yep.
okay.
Awesome.
Your training and certification, go to the medicalcourierconnection.com, join that community, and join us here on YouTube. Become members. Chris, tell them how they can do that.
Yeah, so you, don't forget to like this, subscribe to the channel, and then keep an eye out for memberships. We don't have it activated right now, but I believe we'll have that by today. Have it all set
Excellent.
up and ready to go. The two tiers. I believe the first tier is $2.99, and tier 2 is going to be $9.99.
So
And for
$2.99 a month. That's really cheap, guys. Become a
Yeah.
member. We're going to be putting all sorts of members-only content that you can view that no one else gets. You don't have fear of missing out. Don't you sit on the sidelines. Stay engaged. Follow us, subscribe, likes, and become members. Become a member. The membership's coming up soon, you guys. We appreciate all of you guys. We appreciate our sponsors, Open Force, and
Key Software Systems and
Key Software
Risk Strategies.
and Risk Strategies. So we appreciate all of our affiliates. So we're going to have more coming up soon, by the way. Stay tuned. More announcements coming, guys. So we love our affiliates. We love our sponsors. A lot of you have been instrumental in helping us grow, and that's all important. So any other comments or questions? That's it?
I think we're good, yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. You guys have a great Sunday. It's been Austin hanging with you. We'll see you next time.